Excuse me. I'm just rude. I'm rude as a motherfucker, ain't I? Just burping in y'all motherfucking face. Excuse me. Ooh. Let me tell y'all, man, shit's getting real deep. Shit is getting real deep, man. I remember a few years ago, I told y'all about China. I told y'all about Russia and the strategic things happening. Woo. Anyway, please hit that like button when you come up in here. Share this out if you so choose. I'm going to be going through a timeline of events, basically off the top of my head, just things that I remember, things that stood out to me in the last few years. All right, so hit that like button or the down button, whatever, doesn't matter. It is October 6th, 2022 on a Thursday. And yeah, we're gonna get into it. Welcome, Freedom Marchers. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world. This is Tyrant's Bane. This is Freedom's March. So, the smooth setup. First, I want to talk about there have been a number of smooth setups over the last 100 years that have gotten us into wars. All right. I would say essentially after the Korean War. All right. After the Korean War, there have been multiple smooth setups that got us into shit. The Gulf of Tonkin, 911, what else? And before that, with Kuwait and all that shit. The way things happen, you see, these elites, they do things in certain ways to get us to certain points in time, to get us to certain instances for the Hegelian dialectic to come into play. All right. And right now, what is the Hegelian dialectic? Create a problem or co-opt the problem, right? And right now, what's the problem? Well, the Ukraine war. But the problem began before that, and I'll get into it. The problem began when the coup started, right? That was the initial problem. That was to soften the populace up for more extreme rulership. You understand? More extreme rulership. Okay, that's what happened with the coup, right? Well, you know what? I will say this. It goes back even further than that. It goes back to 911 in the inception of the Patriot Act and the Emergency State Health Powers Act. The thing that they used during the coup to lock us down, to tell us what we can and can't do, and that enabled them to do that. Most people don't understand that. The Model State Health Emergency Powers Act gave each state, each governor, the carte blanche to do whatever they wanted to do with the coup, right? Now, this is just me, this is a novel I have an idea for. So I'm just running it by y'all to see what y'all think. This ain't real life. This is just a fictional story that I'm running by y'all, and I would like to know what you think so I can get to writing. I want to do an outline, and I'm gonna start writing this book for y'all, right? But I want to run a basic synopsis by you, right? So the coup, right? What happens during the coup? That was one problem. They got the fear-based reaction, which allowed them to keep us in our homes without any, without much kickback and without much resistance. You know what I'm saying? We really did not resist at all, right? We just believed what they said, the majority of us, and we just went along with it, right? And what did that do? It told our government, right, what we're willing to take from them, right? Not as much as we're willing to take from them, but just how far can we take this? How far can we take the tyranny and oppression? Okay? How far can we take that? How long can we get them used to being in their homes, not being able to go anywhere, all this, that, and the third? What does this do, though? Let's talk about some of the important points of this 2 years of the coup, right? Let's talk about that. And no, I'm not talking about the deaths, okay? Y'all know what I think about the deaths, right? More people died because of more people died from that 200,000 death jump was outside of the coup. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these deaths occurred from the lockdowns, the this, the that, the fear campaign. All of this caused a number of deaths, right? All this just inflated that shit. And I'm not talking about the coup, right? Dying from the coup, that wasn't really what the extreme number of deaths came from, right? My nephew is a victim of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, my nephew passed away, and one could say that it was linked to the lockdowns and that type of shit. So that's a whole different story I'm not gonna get into. But anyway, so what's another important point, right? What were they able to do during this 2 years? I'm not gonna be able to read y'all comments, but I would like for you guys to guess. I know the smart ones, all of you are smart, but I know you guys will figure it out. I won't even have to tell you, but I am going to tell you. What did it do? Right? It allowed them to do what? Shut down the supply chain. That is the most important thing that happened during the coup. That is the most significant. That is the most significant thing that happened during the coup. Right? Nothing else was as important as shutting down or hindering the supply chain, which is still hindered to this day. It's still, the supply chain, the distribution chain is still fucked up, right? It has not recovered to pre-coup era. It has not, right? Our GDP is failing, right? The gross domestic product, that is in the tank. You know what I'm saying? And what's another important thing that happened during this 2 years? What's another important thing that happened? Quantitative easing, right? Flooding the market with currency that had no backing. Printing money and typing in zeros and ones into a bank account to then distribute out to people, and to distribute out to companies, to distribute out to bail out companies, to bail out the airlines, to bail out banks, all this type of shit, to send money overseas, right? So you have quantitative easing, you have flooding. You're flooding the market with you're flooding the cash market with all this currency that we don't have the backing for, right? We're increasing the debt, right? We're increasing the deficit. You have that. These are important things. This is not something that just will go away. And this is something I tried to tell my brother. We got in a whole heated argument about it because he was enjoying his extra money on top of his unemployment. He was enjoying them little stimulus checks, all that shit. Oh, he loved it. He was like, oh, this is great. This is what needs to happen, blah, blah, blah. And I said, this is going to cause I said, we're going to get taxed heavily for these for these packages. Not just the stimulus checks. You're talking about trillions of dollars, right? Trillions of dollars because of Donald Trump and Biden together. Trillions of dollars We flooded the market with trillions of dollars that we did not have. And guess what? Do you think all those trillions of dollars got spent? No, it did not get spent. You know what I'm saying? There's such a huge surplus of those funds. And what happened? PPP loans. This is something that a lot of people don't think about. The PPP loans, the unemployment shit, all this fraud that occurred from that is also significant, right? That is also significant because when they committed this fraud, they sucked up money that was supposed to go, that could have went to people that actually could have used that money. It was not in unlimited supply. So these people did this fraudulent shit, took this money, and now it's gone. There's nothing that can be done with it. Yeah, they bought a lot of shit. They did this, they did that. But guess what? Whatever was gained from that money that you gained fraudulently goes back to the government. You know what I'm saying? So all these things happened during these last 2 years that are very significant. Flooding the market with money we don't have, right? Circulating money that we don't fucking have. Disrupting the supply chain, right? Killing hundreds of thousands of jobs, destroying hundreds of thousands of businesses. These things are significant. These are the most significant things that happened during the coup. Not, oh, I was sick. Oh, I had to go to the hospital. Oh, I had to sit at home for 10 days because I had tested positive. None of that shit is important, right? And I'm sorry to say this, but death comes to everyone, right? Those that died during the coup campaign, and I'm not going to call it the pandemic, I'm going to call it the campaign. During the coup campaign, a lot of people died, right? A lot of people died, they said, from the coup, you know what I'm saying? All that type of shit. But we know there's a lot of shit that goes along with that. Underlying conditions, comorbidities. The vast majority of people that died from the coup, I think like 80 or some percent, is somewhere in that range, had 4 or more comorbidities. Understand that. So no, I'm sorry, that's not the most significant thing during this time. Because when those people died, guess what? They ain't got to worry about all the shit that occurred during this campaign that was initiated by our government and by the elites. They're gone. They ain't worried about it now. You see what I'm saying? I'm not dismissing their deaths as nothing, but what I'm saying is they're dead. But this quantitative easing, all this other shit, bringing the interest rate down to 0, all these things are significant, and they were done for a reason, right? The Great Reset is real. You know what they want to do, right? The Great Reset is real. The liberal world order is real. They talked about it. They mentioned the New World Order. They're telling you what the fuck they're doing, right? They're telling you what they're doing. So okay, now they got the hyperinflation cracking now. They got the hyperinflation. They got the disruption of the supply chain. What happens when we're not producing anything and we can't import the things that we need at the rate we could before the coup? When you add hyperinflation to disrupt the supply chains, meaning less products to go out to people, which means more demand, less supply. Well, except now they're saying Walmart and Target, they're having a problem with having too much supply now. But that's just a result of people saving money and not buying as much shit as they used to, right? But that's neither here nor there. The hyperinflation is already here. It's not going to go away anytime soon. It's not going to reduce anytime soon. It's just going to keep creeping up, especially now that what happened? We're going to get into that. We're going to get into Saudi Arabia and Russia. So that was the beginning of the smooth setup, right? I mean, the plan was already in place. The plan was probably in place for decades, but they started to initiate it, I believe, back during maybe 911, right? And now they're really taking it, they're ramping things up. So what happens? What happens? So now you got hyperinflation, right? You got, not before 2020, right? Or 2021 or 2022. Let me say this. Before 2021, you didn't have the hyperinflation yet. You had flooding the market with money we don't have, and you had disruption in the supply chain because of COOF protocols that they had to follow that slowed shit up. So now you got hundreds and hundreds of ships sitting off the coast. That happened before 2021. So now then you got supply chain disruptions because truckers couldn't get shit, you know what I'm saying? They couldn't get in and out of places as easily. This causes problems. So you have quantitative easing, you got 0% interest rate, you got all that type of shit. Then what happened in 2021? Well, your boy Joey B takes over. But before 2021, what were we doing? We were producing oil at a rate higher than ever before, and we had the Keystone pipeline cracking. So yeah, you had gas. Gas was what it was. I mean, it was cheap. You know what I'm saying? It was plentiful, and we were producing so much gas and oil that we were selling it to other countries. We were actually able to export oil for a cost. But what does Joey B do? Right? Joey B comes in. First thing he does in office, one of the first things he does within days, shuts down the Keystone pipeline. Now, the Keystone pipeline was not producing oil yet, right? It wasn't done yet. But they project with these things, right? A lot of the pricing in oil has to do with projected figures, right? So with projected figures, they can say, okay, well, gas can be cheaper because we have this Keystone pipeline coming, and that's going to greatly, balance that out. But now that there's no Keystone pipeline, what do? Well, gas prices start going up. And also, the oil leases, they nixed those. No oil leases, no permits. So now we can't dig and drill for oil on federal lands and in federal waters. I hope you guys are paying attention, because all this is significant. Why did they do that? Why did they do that? Why did they shut down oil production greatly? They didn't shut down completely, but it was significantly reduced. Oil production was significantly reduced in the United States. Why did they do that? Do you think they did it to raise gas prices? To make people pay more money? Well, no, that's just a happy accident. That's just the cherry on top. That's the cherry on top. The whole point was to not have oil ready, not have any oil. We're not producing oil anymore. You shut down the Keystone pipeline. You won't allow oil leases to go through. I think they just a few weeks ago, the court said that, or something, they have to give the leases back, or they have to, so they could probably start drilling now, but the damage is already done. The whole point is to scare us and think, oh, we're going to have a problem with oil, this, that, and the third. Oh, we're not going to have enough. You know what I'm saying? Gas prices are going up, and then you create all this anxiety within the people. Then what happens? Well, they pull out of Afghanistan, which was a shit show. It was a shit show. Let me tell you how they pulled out of Afghanistan was a shit show, and it gave a certain impression about the United States as a superpower and as a military power. Oh, they got incompetent. They have a very incompetent commander-in-chief, and Joe Biden. Right? So, what does this do? Do y'all think Russia would have invaded Ukraine if they didn't see that we were so retarded pulling out of Afghanistan? Probably not. If If Joey B had taken a bold stand in Afghanistan and told the Taliban and all them, if you fuck with us while we're trying to leave, we're gonna fuck you up. So you're gonna let all the Americans leave, you're gonna let all our soldiers leave, all this, that, the third. What did they do? They pulled the troops out first. They pulled the majority of the troops out first, left hundreds of millions of dollars in equipment in Afghanistan, and left United States citizens. To this day, there are United States citizens in Afghanistan. What does it do? This gives the impression that we're weak militarily because we have weak motherfucking leadership. This is partly what emboldened Vladimir Putin. And he was right. He was right. But see, here's what I'm thinking in this book that I'm writing, in this fictional book. I'm thinking the United States, they did service because we knew Vladimir Putin wanted to invade Ukraine. And we needed to give him the push to do so. Either that or fucking China. One of them gonna do it first. Russia's gonna do it first or China's gonna do it first. You understand what I'm saying? So, what does this do? This emboldens Vladimir Putin a year later. Yeah, it took him a year. But, hey, look at the weak leadership we got. This motherfucker Joe Biden ain't shit. I can do whatever the fuck I want now. He wasn't doing that shit when Trump was in office, was he? Not to say that Trump ain't a part of this shit. What I'm saying is you have to give the impression that there is a dichotomy within our government in order for it to continue to control. Anyway, so this emboldens Vladimir Putin to go ahead and fucking invade Ukraine. And what happens? The response wasn't as weak as he would have liked, right? But we can't just allow it to be weak because it would give us why is the United States just sitting back and with their hands behind their head and their feet kicked up, watching us just steamroll Ukraine? No, we gotta give Ukraine money. We gotta give them weapons to help resist. You understand what I'm saying? Now, they may have wanted Vladimir to invade Ukraine, but that doesn't mean that they wanted him to take it over. You understand what I'm saying? So now what you got? You got Ukraine, you got Russia and Ukraine. We're sending them hundreds of billions of dollars. What are we doing though during this time? See, this is chess. This is chess. It appears, we're just sending them weapons. We're sending them jets and air and all this other type of shit. We're just gonna annex in motherfucking Poland. We're just gonna set some things up in Poland. Now they got NATO trying to get NATO to put motherfucking nuclear weapons in motherfucking Poland because Russia is threatening to. Hey, the train is moving. The nuclear train in Russia's moving. And so Poland's like, hey, we need more motherfucking nuclear weapons here. We're not just giving Ukraine weapons, y'all. No. What we're doing is we're making sure that weapons are there when we come. We want to make sure that we already got some shit there when we come to Poland and hop into this shit. Because let me tell y'all something. They're itching. They're itching. You understand what I'm saying? They are not just sending weapons over there for fucking Ukraine. Do you think hundreds of millions of dollars and the billions of dollars of military equipment, do you think Ukraine is getting all of that shit? No. They're going to stage it. You understand? They're going to stage it there. And now you got all the rumblings of nuclear war this, nuclear war that. Oh, the U.S. bought $40 billion worth of, what they call that shit? Nuclear medication, right? Radiation medication, anti-radiation medication. Why are they doing that? Why did they buy $40 billion? Is it because they believe that Russia's gonna maybe attack us with nuclear weapons, or is it to further enrich the pharmaceutical industry? Probably both. Probably both. You see, this liberal world order, Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, Saudi Arabia, India. Remember, India's not on Ukraine's side. They not with the liberal world order. No. But they can see the moves being made. And we're forcing their fucking hand. Because this is inching from a proxy war into a war. You understand what I'm saying? Now that NATO is talking about certain shit, that pipeline, I forgot what the pipeline is called. The pipeline got destroyed near Poland, all this type of shit. They're blaming Russia, but Russia's blaming the United States. You know what I'm saying? That's their Gulf of Tonkin. That's their 911. You know what I'm saying? Not as significant, not as devastating, but things need to keep happening. Catalysts need to keep firing off. You understand what I'm saying? And as of yet, Vladimir Putin has yet to declare war against Ukraine. Right? Why is that? Why is that? Well, because I don't think he's stupid. I think he knows that they want him. They know that he knows they're trying to force his hand. Right? And so he has to be a little bit more cautious about how he moves. Because he has to get certain shit set up in place. Don't forget, off the coast of Alaska, in the ocean, yeah, Russian and Chinese ships in that bitch. Listen, let me tell y'all something. Let me tell y'all something, man. So now you got nuclear weapons coming into play. The idea that somebody could use some nuclear weapons. This is what y'all need. Y'all need to go buy some potassium iodide. Okay? Just in case. Just in case. You know what I'm saying? But I thought about this today. I'm like, all this shit that's been happening. It's happening in certain ways and in certain sequences it just has me wondering. Like, of course, I don't know all these things for a fact. I don't know for a fact that they want World War III to kick off. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't put it past them. This wouldn't be the first war that they wanted to initiate, that they actually did initiate to achieve an agenda. But how does that ever work out for them? How did that work out for them when they tried that with Vietnam? How did it work out when they tried that with Iraq and Afghanistan? It was a dumpster fire. It was a disaster. But they don't really care about that. As a matter of fact, the more disaster, the better. What's the end goal here? What's the end goal? Well, it's all about resources. It's all about resources and controlling the resources. Now let's talk about OPEC Plus, and Russia, right? Joey B, the weakened imbecile that they present us with this imbecile deliberately, understand? In the novel that I'm writing. And this novel that I'm going to write, that you guys are going to let me know if you guys want me to actually write it. They present this bumbling idiot to the world, okay? Then they send him over to Saudi Arabia to beg for more oil production after we shut down our own oil production to save the fucking planet. I want y'all to follow this. Joey B shut down oil production in this country, ostensibly to save the fucking planet, which is going to be, we're all going to die in 12 years. Wait, no, it's 10 years now. It's been 2 years. We're all going to die in 10 years. But you know what? We're just going to go over to another country and ask them to produce, to increase the oil production. But we're trying to save the planet. Do you see how this shit, like, how do people still believe in it? How do people still believe in these motherfuckers? How do people still believe that these, like, this shit is real? Like the game ain't rigged. How do people believe that the game ain't rigged? I don't understand it. These motherfucking idiots, man. Think about it. They told you that we're going to stop oil production to save the planet here in this country. Then you feel it at the pump because, you know, you pay more money. And you don't only feel it at the pump. You feel it at the grocery store. You feel it here. You feel it everywhere. You feel it. Then they fucking go to other countries to try to get them to produce more oil. And we're still buying oil from Russia. We're still buying oil from OPEC. We're still buying oil. We're trying to buy oil from Venezuela. How does that work towards saving the planet? But people still believe that these motherfuckers are trying to save the planet. And so they go along with, oh, well, you know, we buy an electric car. Fucking idiots. Anyway. So, OPEC, Russia. Well, guess what? Saudi Arabia just stepped in it. They just stepped in it. Don't be surprised if they try to find a way to invade Saudi Arabia. Because don't forget, how many Saudi Arabians were on those planes during 9/11? 19? Or something like that. I forgot the number exactly. The majority of the motherfuckers on the plane, so they say, these alleged planes, were from Saudi Arabia. And then there's the issue of Saudi Arabia harboring some of these motherfuckers. And then you got the thing about Saudi Arabia killing people. Like, listen, excuse me, don't be surprised if they try to find a way, a reason, a weapon of mass destruction, red herring, to invade Saudi Arabia. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. You know what I'm saying? We give how much money do we give Saudi Arabia every year? And then this is what they do. They cut the production. Oh boy. Oh boy. Don't forget about the Bushes and the motherfucking Bin Ladens. I don't know if y'all know about that, but Russian Bin Laden. The Bushes and Bin Ladens, thick as thieves. Thick ass thieves. Right? They did wonderful business together. And then guess who sent troops in the motherfucking Afghanistan? George motherfucking Bush. Don't be surprised. We was tight with Afghanistan. We saved them from the Russians in the 80s. We helped them repel Russia. Then what did we do? What was it? We took our happy asses in Afghanistan and destroyed the Bin Ladens. Let me tell y'all something, man. Oh, man, this shit is epic. This shit is epic. Don't be surprised if we end up with some bullshit with motherfucking Saudi Arabia. I hope it doesn't happen, but you never know with these motherfuckers, man. We need to start, listen, shit's getting deep. Shit is getting deep. It's thick. This shit is getting thick. You feel me? I don't know, y'all. Get your potassium iodide. Get your emergency food supplies cracking. Get your water filtration cracking. Get your emergency water stores cracking. The debt is real. Believe that. From what I understand, the president of Ukraine has signed an agreement to join NATO. Yeah, no, he signed the application. That's the whole reason why Russia was attacked, to prevent NATO. Yeah, that's one. Yep. And guess what? That's part of the smooth setup. That's part of the smooth setup. Let me tell you something. How can you take a president seriously when he was on Dancing with the fucking Stars? Dancing with the Stars, he's the president. Dancing with the Stars equals motherfucking Wood. Dancing with the Stars equals Wood. Now he's the president of Ukraine. Motherfucking plant. They can prove a debt. I mean, I don't know what you mean by that, but all I know is they flooded the market with trillions of dollars that we did not have. And people bought shit with those trillions of dollars, and used those trillions of dollars and put it in the stock market. Did all kind of shit, and we didn't have shit to back it up. This hyperinflation that you're seeing right now, this inflation, that is the. Look at the uniform codes. Okay. When you owe people money, you're in debt. We have borrowed money. We have borrowed money. Okay. What do they do with money? What do they when people sign the form to borrow the money? When you borrow money from somebody, what are they doing? Are they semantics right now? All right, y'all. I gotta get out of here. Much love, like, share, subscribe. And just think about that, man. Is that a good novel for me to write? You know, should I get going on that right away? I got to finish The Seas Dark Matter, though. I'm working on the second book right now. I'm about halfway done with it, and so boom. Right now I got about 290 pages, so I'm about halfway through. There's going to be cuts and edits, but you know, there's going to be some editing that's probably going to bring it down to about 400-500 pages, but we'll see. Much love, like, share, subscribe, and let's keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.